So I know I'm going to get downvoted a lot for this because this is a movie that a lot of people seem to be super excited for. But I'm always going to be honest, and honestly, this movie just wasn't it for me. I would say if you're really excited for it, see it, but see it on streaming. Look, I'm a big fan of these sorts of movies. I love John Wick, it's one of my all time favorite movies. Bill Skarsgård is an actor I always enjoy. I've been a fan of him ever since Hemlock Grove, which he was in with Famke Janssen, who plays the villain in this movie. So it was fun to see them reunite. I feel like she's a pretty good actress. She brings a good energy to those villainous roles. So this role definitely suited her. And I would have liked to see her get more screen time, to be honest. But Bill also was great in the role of the boy. So basically, he plays this deaf, mute assassin type figure who's out to avenge his family who were murdered by the character played by Famke. I'm probably butchering her name, but anyway, so it's a storyline that I found intriguing, and Bill definitely shows his dedication to the role. It's a role that requires a lot of physicality. It's a very hard job he had to do in this. He had to show his emotions without speaking one word of dialogue the whole movie. And he had to bulk up for this movie, and he's also had to lose a lot of weight in another role that he was in, Castle Rock, which is a really good show if you haven't seen it. So I'm definitely impressed by his dedication to his roles. So I can't wait to see what he does in The Crow and Nosferatu. I think he's a great actor. He did the best that he could with what he was given in this role. He expressed a lot without saying anything, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough to save the movie for me. So obviously, the movie is heavily inspired by like John Wick, The Hunger Games, and I'm not just saying that like it's the director or someone behind the movie has gone in an interview to say it was actually inspired by those movies, though I didn't need to read that, which I did after the movie, to pick up those sort of inspirations because they were so obvious. And look, that's not a bad thing. Honestly, it's really, really hard these days to come up with an 100% original idea. I don't have any problem with them getting inspired by other movies. It's just the execution. It needs to be a fresh new take in its own way, and it is to a certain degree. Look, this movie, I don't want to sound like I'm completely trashing it. It's definitely got a fun vibe. There are things that I liked about it. The humor was good at times. It was very hit and miss, to be honest, though. The action, it definitely excelled in the action scenes. They were very well done. It felt very much like you were watching a video game. It was very gory, over the top, lots of fun. But the problems started to come in where it was just too much of a good thing. There was no break in the action. It was unrelenting, and you need some time to let it breathe, to let us get to know the characters, to go on a journey with them and connect with them emotionally so that when the action starts, we're really invested in them and their mission. And it just didn't feel that way. It was so non-stop that it just felt like after a while you started to become numb to it. So the music choices were a little strange. There were these action scenes with like this choir music playing. It sort of felt like Civil War, if you guys have seen that. It had some really strange musical choices there too that felt very off tonally. But I understand, just like in that movie, with this it was a very deliberate choice, and it didn't take away from the movie. It was just something that felt a little jarring. So the director, he shows promise, don't get me wrong. You can tell there's a lot of passion and excitement for the genre. He obviously is someone who's truly a fan, and I always appreciate that. He seems to love these sorts of movies, but he just doesn't really have the experience. Like, you can see this is the first major thing he's ever done. Look down the road after he's gained some more experience. He might be a great director, but this just wasn't it. So I didn't find any of the side characters engaging. Only really Fam K's villainous character and Bill's the boy. They were the only two characters that I really found engaging, and I wish they had interacted more. The plot twist is one that I saw coming pretty early, and that's not a bad thing if they had executed it well, but it just felt a bit slow, a bit boring at times. So ultimately for me, it just felt like style over substance. It felt like one action scene after another with a story half-heartedly attached to it, instead of telling a compelling story with heart, with a protagonist that has a mission that we're invested in. So I would give this a 6 out of 10. Maybe that's being a little too harsh. Maybe it's more towards 7. Look, it's going to be personal preference, I guess. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'd be really curious to know what other people thought of this movie. Please give this video a like. It really helps me out. Thanks, guys.